All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. And as always, we give double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. All right, and Great Millstone Dallas back with another live lesson, which ultimately we'll just go put it up. But we're recording, and ultimately, as you can see, the title of this video is a response to SICARII versus Great Millstone cut session. And ultimately, the topic at hand, as we're going to go into through the Holy Spirit, and hopefully you're edified, is dealing with, will there be a third temple, in the kingdom of heaven? Will we need a physical temple, to have, communion with our power? Will we need a physical temple, to offer sacrifice, and I did a video going into it, and Deke and Alazar did a video in response, and the spirit was on me to kind of leave it alone, like whatever, I did a video already and reloaded it that I went to particular points, but the spirit jumped on brothers. We decided just to do a response, bring edification, because this is a beautiful topic, and ultimately what it speaks to as we get this lesson is that there's still a veil over their heart. Let's get that in 1 Corinthians.
God.
Yeah, just read it.
Okay. God.
1 Corinthians, even when Moses is read.
I got you. Let's see.
And this is the Apostle Paul, which we know that these men have issues with him. But hey, Apostle Paul was set up through the spirit of power of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And our the head of the church, Peter, co-signed him. All right. Go ahead.
Con. So this is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 15. All right. And it reads, it says, but even unto this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their heart.
Right. When Moses is read, when they go into the Torah, when they go into the first covenant and read it, there's a veil, meaning ultimately the access isn't fully opened unto them. So they're blocked when it comes to spiritual matters. Go ahead.
It says, nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord,
when you turn to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua fully in sincerity and truth, and not have your own ulterior motives, as the SICARII always had their own motives. Even when Yahushua was on the scene, they weren't obedient to following Yahushua. They rebelled against Rome.
Right.
Okay. They what did Yahushua? He said, pay the taxes. They started a war based upon not paying the taxes. So there was differences in ideologies. There was differences in understanding. Not to say they don't believe in Yahushua. They knew he existed, but the SICARII have always done their own thing, and they were carnal. So when they go into the scriptures, they only see it from the carnal perspective, and they don't see the spiritual link. All right, that these things all really led to an even better day, was the way that was already established before the Levitical priesthood, which we're returning to that way. You got some more?
God, I do. This is 2 Corinthians 3 and 16. It says, nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord, the veil shall be taken away. Now the Lord is that spirit, and where the spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty.
Ultimately, that grace period, man, where the spirit of the Lord is, there's that grace in which the elect will use to offer up a spiritual sacrifice acceptable to the Most High, Yahweh, through Yahweh Shai, man, leading us to a better way, upgraded priesthood, all right, which will be predicated on better promises. Now, I'm going to share my screen because what I wanted to start with, to start with this point, because they make the arguments, as we're going to go through some of their points, we're going to get through as much as we can get through, but they're making the point that there will be the priesthood of Aaron in the kingdom of heaven alongside the priesthood of Melchizedek. They're boasting that there will be a third temple, and if you don't sacrifice, because we're going to have ceremonial sacrifices, but if you don't have a temple, then you're breaking the law, which shows you that they don't understand what we're returning to. All right,
I got a precept to that.
Yep. Now let's start bringing the precepts on the screen. So I'll remove you, and then I'll add you back to the hold up, not remove. as far as the sharing of the screen, what I'll do is hold up. Okay. All right. So let's go to what do you have, brother?
1 Corinthians 2:13.
Okay. 1 Corinthians 2:13. Y'all see my screen pretty good?
God.
God.
All right. All right. I'll read it for you. 1 Corinthians 2:13. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual.
Because ultimately, that's really how you're gonna get the understanding of the representation of Yahweh Shah, what his salvation truly means, and what we're actually inheriting and coming into.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what you see is a lot of textual criticism and reading of things outside of the scriptures that have influenced men, and they're not comparing spiritual things with spiritual. Okay, let's read the next verse, Baba Kushai.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Okay, and that's what they're trying to make it make sense by using Aaron in the Levitical priesthood, which that's why all these scriptures telling you is better things coming. Even when you go and you read into the book of Revelation 21 and 22, without the Spirit, you won't understand these things, and you're missing the bus trying to make it what came with Moses and Aaron. Okay,
right.
And this is why those Pharisees were so offended by Yahweh Shai. They were offended by Yahweh Shai because he was telling them that there's someone great, there's something greater coming. And then it's the same thing now. You see these guys kind of getting offended about the Levitical priesthood kind of being put to the side for the order of Melchizedek. Well, that's what the scriptures say. All right.
Right. There was a point when, the wicked chief priests and scribes and Pharisees, I believe it's Matthew 26 and 61. All right, Matthew 26 and 61, it says, I start at 59. It said, now the chief priests and elders and the council sought witness against Yahushua to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet they found none. At last came two false witnesses and said, this fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of the Most High and build it in 3 days. See, they didn't understand the spiritual meaning of that. That's why they were offended. They took offense to that. See, and who was it? The chief priest. See, they didn't understand what he meant by that, because what? They were bound to the temple, and if the temple and the Levitical priesthood is to be boasted in, John the Baptist himself was directly from the loins of Aaron, and not once did you see him or hear him mention the Levitical priesthood. He boasted in a better high priest. Now, the first point we're going to make here, get into Genesis 2 and 7, all right, is that the original temple is the Garden of Eden. That was the original temple, as we'll show you, in which Adam was set up as the first high priest, the first priest on earth. Okay, there's a priest in heaven, and that priest was on earth as well. He was the first priest and king to rule on earth through the Holy Spirit being given unto him. So we're going to start at Genesis 2 and 7, and we're going to read down, and we're going to make the point that the original way that we're going back to is more glorious, and that the temple and that first covenant and the priesthood all pointed carnally to something that had a higher meaning. Did y'all have any points?
No, I was just, and they were talking about Paul earlier, and that's why Peter even mentions about Paul's writings being hard to understand and how people rest. This is some of the things that you can put the pieces together on when you read his writings. What the elder is about to go into on Genesis 2. And if you don't mind, can you zoom in on just a little bit more, Baba Kushai?
Absolutely.
Boom, there we go. I just want to make sure everybody can follow along. But you got it, Elder.
Okay, go ahead.
If I can make a quick point as well too, that's why whenever they make their points about, you know, the cardinal priesthood of the priesthood of Aaron, which ain't, you know, nobody's hating on the priesthood of Aaron. You see, that's not the case, because at the end of the day, where did the priesthood of Aaron receive the replica of how to even be priests on the planet Earth? It was already something going on in the heavens at that point. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, like as we're gonna get into it. You know what I mean? You dismiss the book of Hebrews and we don't know the author who wrote Hebrew. It cuts your whole narrative.
Well, who wrote Chronicles?
Right.
Who wrote Chronicles? Should we disregard that? Who wrote it?
Right.
Now, and we know who wrote the book of Hebrews.
Right.
But let's start here in Genesis 2:7. All right. Which we know in the fifth day man was made, but in the sixth day man was given order. And the first man on earth to be given order was Adam. Of all of the people on the planet Earth, he came from a particular family line, but amongst that family line, he was the one given, all right, instruction. All right. Now this is Genesis 2:7. It says, in Yahweh, okay, showing you Adam had the name, form, all right, man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. All right. And what does this mean? He gave Adam a commandment. All right. We read about that commandment in the book of Second Esdras real quick, the third chapter.
Had that hell too. That's a spirit.
Okay. I need to zoom in, don't I?
Baba Kusha.
That's good.
Yep.
All right. I'll just jump to the point. Verse 4, O Lord, who bears rule, thou spake at the beginning when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, all right, and commandest the people, and gave a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thy hand, and did it breathe into him the breath of life. And he was made living before thee. He was already alive, but he was made living, just as the dry bones were alive, but they were living when they received the word, the instruction, the Holy Spirit. Adam is the first to partake of that order. And thou leadest him into paradise, because it was created for him and the sons of God to rule and have dominion over, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward. All right. In the heavens, he was at the forefront of creating it. On earth, he was at the forefront of running it. And thou gavest him a commandment to love thy way. See, that was the original commandment. Before the law, statutes, and commandments were written on stone, there was a commandment given unto Adam, okay, that came directly from the Most High God, Yahweh, to love his way. All right. Love fulfills the law. Okay. Isn't that the order under this grace period? The commandment is fulfilled in love. Love is the fulfillment of the law. We didn't have to have, you know, written on stone and carnal and ordinances. It was just a way that we walked. Yep. And he transgressed that way, and immediately thou appointest death in him and his generations, of who came nations, tribes, people, kindreds out of number. Now, going back to Genesis 2, did y'all want to say something?
No, I just wanted to highlight how that way of righteousness, that way of life, that way of obedience gives the sons of God rulership. When we're in that righteous way, rulership and dominion is given, and then the whole earth is refreshed by it. The earth becomes in an immortal state,
right?
Because everything's operating at the right hand of the Heavenly Father. So the family of Adam ruled the planet, and they were the chiefs. They were the chief priests. They were the priests ruling out of the garden, where the presence of the Lord dwelt. That's why he spoke with Adam in the midst of the garden. Okay, that's where they communed,
which is Jerusalem, the holy city. That's why Melchizedek was king of Salem, king of Jerusalem, priest of the Most High God.
Right.
That's the priesthood we're going to return to. Now it says in Genesis 2, going back here, give me 1 second. Goodness gracious, man. Don't stop this. Slovakia, man. So Adam was given the original commandment. All right. Before the law, statutes, and commandments were written on stone, it was just the oral tradition. It was just the way that the sons of God were supposed to walk.
A spirit. Yep.
All right. All right. This is Genesis 2:7. So we read that, and Adam became a living soul. All right, by the breath, just like the dry bones, the breath entered into them, and they stood up on their feet.
Yep.
Genesis 2:8. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden. See, eastward in Eden. That's Jerusalem. Okay. The starting point of paradise, the starting point of the promised land as well. That was promised to us where we're going to govern out of. So the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. To what? As we're going to show you, he was going to rule it. Okay. It says, and out of the ground made the Lord God Yahweh to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight. All right. When the earth is kept in its natural order, this is what happens. Things flourish, good for food. The tree also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Right in the midst of the garden. All right. They're in the center of the garden. All right. And when you read about the tabernacle, you read a similitude, right?
Yep. Now we're gonna just jump to verse 15. Okay. Because it goes to the rivers around about. Now, did you want to read that, Ariel? I know you made a point.
Because this is where you can see where when Solomon had his temple, where he was getting it from, what he was trying to liken this temple to, right? So when you read there, you can read it fast.
Yep. Okay. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden. From thence it was parted, and it came into four heads. The name of the first is Pison, which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold that the land, and the gold of that land is good. I'm right. And the bdellium and the onyx stone. And the second river is the Gihon, the same as that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia.
You see how it has the stones? Okay. We can keep reading.
The onyx stone. Yep. Bdellium. That's a resin. All right. It says, and the name of the third is Hiddekel, that which goeth toward the east of Assyria, and the fourth river is Euphrates.
Right. So you see how you have the four rivers creating those kind of like four, like a square, right? Showing you how everything was going to be, just like a tabernacle, right?
Yep. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress and to keep it.
All right. So this man was to dress and to keep this garden. You know?
Yep. So what we're going to do is look up two Hebrew words, dress and keep, and you'll see that this way that the Levites had went back to something that was far superior. As the scriptures say about Abraham, when he was blessed of Melchizedek, the lesser was blessed of the greater, and the greater is Melchizedek. Now, the word to dress it, all right, Adam was put there to dress it. The word to dress it, all right, is ibad, okay, to labor, to do work. And we're doing the work now in a spiritual sense, right? To serve another by labor, serve as subjects, to serve with Levitical service. Okay. And what does Levi mean? Loyah means joined unto me. See, this is how the sons of God were joined unto the Most High through Adam, through Abel, who had a better sacrifice. Okay, without a temple, because the temple was the Garden of Eden. Okay, and we'll get to their points in just a minute, but we want to make this point first and one more maybe, and then we'll get to their video. So to be worked, to till, to make oneself, to serve, basically. Now, when you go to this word, all right, let's go to the book of Numbers, and you're going to see the same word. Let's go to Numbers
18.
Numbers 18.
Yeah, I had the hill. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just do it like this. Numbers 18 and what?
I was going to read verse 5.
Yeah, it's one before that, but let's do that.
Okay, I think verse 3 is the one you're talking about.
Nah, where you at? Numbers 18 and what?
I was gonna say 18 and 5, but if you want me to start at verse 3, I can.
Nah, let's go to 5. Read it.
Okay. Numbers chapter 18, verse 5, it says, "And ye shall keep the charge of the sanctuary, the charge of the altar, that there be no wrath any more upon the children of Israel. And I, behold, I have taken your brethren the Levites from among the children of Israel. To you they are given as a gift of Yahweh to do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation."
Right. And when you look up that word, all right, to do the service, all right, I bought tha, all right, hold up, I tha, which pretty much is the same word, to labor, to do the service of God. So Adam originally was doing the service of God, all right, in the Garden of Eden, and the root word is ibad, the same word that we just read in the book of Genesis. So they were to what? Watch and keep the garden. All right. Now we read the word watch. And let's go back to Genesis 2, because Adam was to dress and keep it. So we read the word dress, ibad, to serve, and we just showed you just one scripture where the Levites, that's what they did, but they did it, all right, in a physical temple, a earthly tabernacle, which pointed to a greater way. So they were to dress and keep. Ibad, and the word keep, to dress and keep, the word keep is shamar, to guard, observe, give heed, okay, to remain, okay, to keep, watch, protect, save life. To save life. If you keep these ways, it leads to life. To refrain, abstain. You had things that you can do, things you can't do. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Now let's go to Numbers on that one. The same word, Numbers. Let's see. You got something, Taz?
Well, no, I was just gonna say, just to add on to the point, it said to save life, and it makes me think about what Yahweh Shah said in the Matthew the 10th chapter, when he said, "Heal the sick, raise the dead, heal the lepers," when he was talking to the disciples. You know?
Right. Yep. This is Numbers 3 and 7. All right. Speaking about who? Levi. Right. Bring Levi in there. Now we know that Adam was before Levi. Okay. Melchizedek was before Levi. Right. And we'll get into it. And they shall keep his charge and the whole congregation thereof before the tabernacle of the congregation to do the service of the tabernacle. And they shall keep the instruments of the tabernacle of the congregation and the charge of the children of Israel to do the service of the tabernacle. Okay, it's the same word. Let's go shamar. Let's see here. Sure. Where is it at? Hold up. Give me 1 second. There it goes. Shall keep, and they shall keep. All right. Washa mawar. All right. Shamar, to watch. So the same order that was given to the Levites, all right, before there was a Levite, that order was given unto Adam. All right. So the original temple, basically what we're showing you is that the original temple, all right, and the way that we're going back to, all right, was the land, the Garden of Eden, starting at Jerusalem. Now on earth, all right, at the time of Solomon, the Lord, gave King David the blueprint, and ultimately a temple was built there. Okay, a physical temple was built there.
Right.
All right, to remind us of that way.
Right. Why? Because we were kicked out of the garden due to disobedience. So a similitude was created, right, through the Most High's mercy. Why? Because he put his name on us. Okay, so we had a similitude to that garden for us to go and commune and be able to basically beg the Heavenly Father. These things, this is what the Most High set up. And that's why you have inside the holies of holies, you have the cherub and everything like that. All right.
Right.
You
Let me
got
read
that
this
up?
for you. All right, let me
Con.
read this. This is Genesis 3:24 after the fall of Adam, which goes into a history as well of the fall of the sons of God. So he drove out the man, Genesis 3:24. So he drove out the man and he placed at the east of the Arden. As a matter of fact, started 22.
Con.
And the Lord God said, behold, man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. So that access to immortality was blocked. All right, because of sin, because of the transgression of the commandment. Okay, so we've been, as the sons of God, we've been going through this for this has been our story, to receive the ways of the righteousness and fall to the ways of the heathen by taking on other philosophies. So Genesis 3:23, therefore God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden. He kicked them out of Jerusalem, just as he did, all right, to the Israelites after King Solomon's reign, 40 years of peace. Eventually, as you go down the line of the kings, all right, we were expelled out of that, we were put into captivity, but at the time of the Romans, we were completely expelled out of the land of Jerusalem and scattered, So the Lord he kicked Adam and the sons of God out of the Garden of Eden. So he drove out the man and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turn every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
So yeah, that was blocked. Okay, that was blocked. Now I see Todd said he's back. He said he got kicked out.
Okay, hold on.
If you can add him back into the.
Yep.
So I got kicked out. My bad.
Now you good. So I just wanted to make that point. The original temple, the original tabernacle was the garden itself, where the Most High communed with Adam as the first high priest on earth, the first king and priest on earth, where he ruled and did the bidding of the Lord. All right, but he fell from that way, which eventually the sons of God fell. All right, and we were ultimately driven out of that, just like the Israelites were kicked out of Jerusalem, banished from that holy place, which it was promised to Solomon, if you don't keep my way. The same thing under Solomon. If you don't keep my way, this great nation, I'm gonna expel them out of this land. So Adam and the sons of God were drove out of the Garden of Eden. All right. So the first temple, the first priest on earth was Adam. Okay. And we know that he passed down a particular way dealing with a sacrifice, because what? Abel had a better sacrifice than Cain. As you go up the line, all right, Noah offered a sacrifice, as we'll get. Abraham offered a sacrifice. Moses offered sacrifice. All right. But before that, before Moses, Isaac, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay. Where'd you want to go, Ariella? You got something?
I didn't know if you was gonna mention Solomon's temple and go there.
Yeah, we can go there real quick.
Just to highlight that point.
Yep. Let's see here.
So much to this stuff, because really you got to go back and read the whole chapter, and you want to go back and read throughout Exodus and look and see about the tabernacle and its makeup, and then see when the actual temple was built there in Jerusalem.
Yep.
And all of these things point to originally what Adam had set up, how the Most High had set it up for Adam. Let me speak it right. There in the garden, they're in Eden, and then in the garden, and in the midst of the garden where you had the tree of life, man. And everything.
Right. The building of the temple, which the same pattern that Moses received, David received to give to Solomon to build a physical temple, all right, on Mount Moriah in Jerusalem, all right, in a high place, the highest point, all right, in Jerusalem, Mount Zion, the temple was built. So the building of the temple, when you go, we'll just jump to a few points. All right. Like the scriptures talks about, it's going to be laden with gold in the kingdom. As you can see, verse 21. So Solomon overlaid the house with pure gold, chains of gold. All right. Verse 23, with the oracle, which he made 2 cherubims of olive tree, each 10 cubits high. All right. 2 cherubims.
Yep.
All right.
So it's likening, you seeing that it's likening to what we have there in the garden. All right.
Yep. The temple was patterned after the Garden of Eden. All right. As we're going to show you.
That,
the temple.
That's what the first thing mentioned is that gold. What was the first thing mentioned in the garden? Coming out of from the Pison in the land of Havilah. Gold. Okay.
Yep. And he carved all the walls of the house round about with carved figures of cherubims and palm trees and open flowers within and without. Okay. Cherubims, palm trees, open flowers.
Wow.
Gold.
It's a garden.
He's making it as a garden, right? We'll go to chapter 7 just to read a few more. All right. Verse 36. For on the plates of the ledges thereof and on the borders thereof, he graved cherubims, all these cherubims. All right. Angels, lions. All right. And palm trees.
Yeah, beasts in the garden that was named, right?
Yep. Just like in the kingdom under Yahweh Shah, the lion shall lay with the lamb. You know, animals. You know, it was a bunch of animals. It was beautiful. It was paradise. So he's likening the temple to this. He graved cherubims, lions, palm trees, according to the proportion of every one, and additions round about. So as you keep reading, basically, and there's so much more.
It's all being laid out. We can only imagine how it looked at its height.
Right.
But just imagine, take that and try to imagine the Garden of Eden and all the expansive land that was being controlled and dominated by the family of Adam. Okay.
Right.
Jay wants the apartment, man. We want more than that apartment. The temple of Solomon, in comparison to what we're supposed to have, is an apartment. Okay. But you got to have spiritual discernment to reach in and grab what you're supposed to get out in the spirit.
Yep. Well, the Lord said he dwelleth not in temples made with hands. Okay. So, I mean, there's more we can get on that aspect, but let's get into their video unless y'all had other points real quick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick, if I may, like, y'all can read on your own time, but when you read Ezekiel, the 10th chapter, that goes into how pretty much when the Most High's glory departed away from the temple, and it specifically mentions the cherubims, and they went to dwell upon Ezekiel and at the river Kibar. So if the glory of the Lord departed away from the temple and it dwelt in Babylon, that lets you know where does the glory of the Lord reside? Where did the glory of the Lord reside in the wilderness and in Jerusalem? It would come down amongst the Holy of Holies in the temple. So it was giving you a spiritual vision into the future, letting you know, as the Apostle Paul said. He said, "You are the temple of the living power, where the Spirit of the Lord dwells within you." You see, like Isaiah 19, it says that there's going to be altars in Egypt. So you are the temple, the true temple. Salaka, but you got it.
Yep. So let's I'll give you access, Ariella, and we'll go to their video. And hey, Lord willing, y'all brothers and sisters be edified. Let's see here. Do I have to click your name?
Yeah, you click the one where it's got the video pulled up. You see it? It should be
okay.
Right.
Okay.
Boom. And I'll just play. Y'all let me know when y'all want to stop and make a point. But y'all ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, let me know if you can hear it.
Decade ago was rebuke videos on me and Alazar.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, one more play.
At this point, it doesn't phase. It doesn't phase. It doesn't graze. You understand? But how many of you guys believe that there will be a third temple in the kingdom of heaven? How many of y'all believe that there will be a third temple in the kingdom of heaven? Put a 1. If you believe that there won't be a third temple in the kingdom of heaven, put a 2. And let's not even say third. Let's just say a temple in the kingdom of heaven. Put a 1. If there won't be a temple in the kingdom of heaven, put a 2. Nobody's going to scream and yell at you, whatever your answer is.
Yeah, we can probably fast forward.
Look at all these Hebrew Israelites.
He sounds upset.
More on the Jewish community for saying that they're going to build this third temple when they don't even have control of the Temple Mount, nor are they even in the right spot where the actual ancient temple stood.
This is actually really good advertising. The water.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, God is not going to allow that to happen. For one, they're not the real people. And for two, the prophecy says it won't be built until the Messiah comes back.
Well, stop it, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the temple is being built now.
Exactly.
All right. In the book of Ye Are God's building.
Mm-hmm.
Get that? Somebody bring that up real quick.
All right.
The third temple started, all right, when the Most High appointed Peter the rock that he was going to build his church on. That's when the tabernacle of David started to be built. All right. And then, once they gathered from amongst the Jews, Yahweh Shai and his father, they gathered from amongst the Jews. Eventually, the order was given, all right, that the apostles, eventually travel and teach unto the Gentiles, with Apostle Paul being the vessel chosen. Okay. And that was, the church being built. And then in the latter days, it will be complete. Okay. Through the rebuilding of the tabernacle of David, as in the days of old.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And ultimately it's fulfilled in the believers. Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 9. It says, "For we are laborers together with the Most High. Ye are the Most High's husbandry. Ye are the Most High's building."
Ye are the Most High's building. Okay. And again, it started with who? Peter. Okay. That's the first stone that the church will be founded upon. You see? And then you have the 12, and the 144,000 is a fulfillment of the rebuilding, all right, of the tabernacle of David as in the days of old. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning going back even to the beginning. Because when we're resurrected, we're going back to our original estate. That's the resurrection, Yahweh Shai, in the first fruit spirits, and those who are Yahweh Shai's after his coming, being brought back to their original estate.
Right.
And that was in the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
See, that started in the heavens. That was the priesthood, all right, before, all right, as a matter of fact.
That's why we're coming down from the heavens.
Right.
Okay.
There's a scripture. I'll look it up, but go ahead, Taz.
Well, yeah, that's why Yahweh Shah said, he said, now is the hour come where the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's why Yahweh Shah said that, because when Yahweh Shah came on the scene and he came down in the flesh, he gave his word unto as many as received him, and he gave them power to become the sons of the Most High. But there's already a family that's established in the heavens, though. There was already something going on in the heavens that was happening on, like, it was built on the planet Earth as a replica.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I gotta bring this up real quick. Let me hold up. Okay. Let me share my screen real quick.
Okay.
Real quick.
And I'm gonna read the scripture while you get that.
Okay.
This is Revelation chapter 21, verse 2. It says, "And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband." All right. So that's that elect.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It says, "And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them. And they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power." So the government of the elect underneath Yahweh Shai will be as the temple on earth, man. You got to understand this. Now, is there going to be buildings and institutions laid out and everything like that? Absolutely. But the spiritual understanding of it is going to be back likened into the Garden of Eden and how things were set up.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Not like Aaron and them. Aaron and them was just a small description of how it originally was before our fall. And this is where we're getting this lack of understanding.
Right.
All right, because it's spiritually discerned. What we saw with the Levitical priesthood, Solomon's temple, everything like that, as far as the temple as you understand it, was a description of how it was supposed to be in the garden.
Right.
We're going back to that.
That's what we're going back to.
So this is why you see the stones and everything like that mentioned in Genesis 2nd chapter, brought back. You even had the stones and the ephod on the men of the Lord. That was a similitude of,
Yep, on the yep. Now, real quick, this is Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. Now we know that word God is Elohim. Okay. Now, when you go to this word Elohim, okay, rulers, divine ones, angels, works or special possessions of the Most High. Now, when you go to the root word, all right, Allah wa, all right. Hold up. I was just reading it. What the hell? Hold up. Rulers, divine ones. I was just reading it. Magistrates. Hold up. Speak real quick.
Okay. I have a precept real quick.
Go ahead, champ.
All right, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 2. I'm gonna just read verse. You found it?
Yeah, I found it real quick. Hold up.
No, you got
in the beginning, Salaki, that's the word I'm looking for. In the beginning, we know that word because what is being presented here is the Son of the Most High and the angels, the Elohim, Ra'ashyeth. Okay. All right. First, beginning, best, beginning. All right. Ra'ash is the root word. Okay. Summit. Okay. This is the government of the Most High, headed by Yahweh Shai. Head, height, chief, man, head, city, nation, place, family, priest.
Boom.
These are the original priest.
Yep.
And being presented, all right, given, and that was the original commandment was in the heavens to create the heavens and the earth. That was the original command. All right, through the first spirit created, Yahweh Shai, order was given, and the first fruit spirits that were created after him worked with him, all right, to create the heaven and the earth. That was a priesthood. That priesthood eventually came to the earth. Now, in the heavens, there's a tabernacle. How do we know that? Because Moses.
There you go.
There you go. Moses, when he built the tabernacle, did y'all want to get that real quick?
Why not?
We ain't gonna never get to their video, huh?
Well, we don't need to.
Yeah, right. We'll touch it a little bit, but we already know the points they making, and we making our points.
Yeah.
Pattern. Just type in pattern. When Moses was given a commandment to build the tabernacle, okay, in Exodus 25, okay, the building of the first tabernacle, which was a moving tabernacle. All right, verse 9, Exodus 25:9. According to all that I show thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of the instruments thereof shall you make it. When you jump to verse 39 or verse 40, and look that thou make them after the pattern which I showed thee in the mount.
Come on now.
So the pattern that was showed to Moses in the mount on what's the name of that mountain?
Mount Sinai, Mount
Sinai. There you go. Where the Lord through his angel met with Moses. There was something shown to Moses, and he was to take that very pattern and make a carnal representation of it. And a part of that was the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant was a part of that. All right. And that's broken down in the book of Hebrews, the 9th chapter. We'll touch that a little bit. But again, Moses, everything that was built in form of the physical temple was on something that was showed to Moses in the mount. Now, if you type in that same word pattern, okay, real quick. real quick, and you was hold up. Yeah, I'll just get it real quick, and then you got it, Taz.
Okay.
You type in that word pattern in the book of First Corinthians, maybe 20. Goodness gracious, or First Chronicles 20. This damn thing is tripping. Oh man, let me see if I can.
Want me to pull it for you?
Yeah, it's here it comes. It's First Chronicles 28.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, and 11. And David gave Solomon his son a pattern of the porch and the houses thereof and the treasuries thereof and the upper chambers to build a physical temple. Okay, in verse 19. All right, the incense by weight. There's incense being offered up in the heavens. Okay, First Chronicles 28 and 19. And this said David, the Lord made me understand in his writing by hand upon me, even all the works of this pattern. And he gave that pattern to Solomon to build, all right, a resemblance of the tabernacle, but in a more glorious fashion. So he built the temple. But again, this all goes back to a pattern, okay, that was given unto Moses, that was something in the heavens. So the Moses was to make, all right, a physical representation of what he saw in the heavens that was opened up to him. Y'all want to say something?
Well, I was just saying this is why it was done on the mountain. On the mountain, what does the mountain represent? It represents the place where the heavens meet the earth. Okay, and that's where basically you had the Garden of Eden. All right, when you can get kind of a precept on that in Ezekiel 28:13 and 14. It basically talks about how that garden was where he was at in that garden was basically the mountain of God.
That's right. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, Ezekiel 26 and
26.
I'm sorry, 28 and what was it 14?
Yep. Speaking
Well,
to
if you're reading 13, it kind of mentions Eden and
right.
and this person being blessed as being in Eden, right? And it's putting it all together for you.
Right. Ezekiel 28 and 13. Thou hast been the one who wants to be like the Most High. All right. Be a God on earth. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of the Most High. Every precious stone was thy covering. The sardius, the topaz, the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and the gold.
You see how all of that was also placed in the temple as well? But this is the garden of the Heavenly Father. So when we were talking about this New Jerusalem coming down and what's going to be established and set up, we're coming back into this time. We're not coming back into the time of Temple Solomon, like in the mindset that SICARII is kind of bringing it forth in. All right, let's keep going.
Right.
And it ain't the Levites. The Levitical priesthood is got put on the bench. Right.
Yep. A greater priesthood is coming.
That's right.
Yep.
It says, the workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee the day that thou was created. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou was upon the holy mountain of the Most High. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
See that? All right. So basically likening to that spiritual experience and everything like that. And you can see that goes all the way back to the Garden in Eden and its representation. We see the same similitudes when you read in Revelation, the 21st and 22nd chapters.
Right.
This holy order brought on earth. The image of the Heavenly Father put into Adam, and that image representing the Most High's immortal wisdom playing out on earth.
Right.
The sons of God were charged with that duty to do that work in the temple, but even more out in the earth, chiefly from what's going to be understood as Eden again. What you got, Taz?
Ephesians chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 20. It says, I'm sorry, verse 19. It says, now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints, and of the household of the Most High. Right, the household of the Most High, and are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Yahushua HaMashiach himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto a holy temple in the Lord, in whom ye also are builded together for a habitation of the Most High through the Spirit. And a habitation is what? A dwelling place where the glory of the Lord dwells. And that's happening. That temple is being built up now, and it's going to be built in its perfection whenever we come out of them chairs and we have them spiritual bodies, man. Ruling
in us
and priest on the planet Earth, as on earth as it is in heaven.
Yep.
Right. Yep. That physical temple was you know, it was all centered around the Lord dwelling with us, you know, but now we won't need a physical temple to have the Lord to dwell amongst us. And we'll get into that. Y'all want to go back to them?
I'm down. I don't know if Ariella may have to wait for a second.
Okay.
I had another precept if I may.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. This is the book of Hebrews, their kryptonite. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 3. It says, "For this man was counted worthy of more glory than Moses, inasmuch as he who hath builded the house hath more honor than the house. For every house is builded by some man, but he that built all things is the Most High." Goes in like even with the tabernacle.
Right.
The tabernacle was built on earth, but the main builder of the tabernacle is Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, based upon the pattern that Moses seen. Right. And Moses verily was faithful in all his house as a servant for a testimony of those things which were to be spoken after. So afterward. Right? Because remember, it was written in Deuteronomy 18 that look, somebody's gonna come that's gonna be likened unto me, then you're gonna have to listen to him.
Yeah.
You know, in last verse 6. But Hamashiach as a son over his own house, whose house are we, if we hold fast the confidence and the rejoicing of the hope firm unto the end. So we are the house of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. We are the tabernacle of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai.
Yep. Yep.
That was it on that.
That's right. Now, you ready, Ariella?
Con. So like you.
All right.
I am ready.
Let's get to them. Hold up. Stop sharing. Add to stage. All right, let's listen to these guys. You know, we probably ain't gonna get to the end of their video, but if need be, we'll do another one. You know, but let's get into some of their arguments and let's get it.
I'm gonna speed it up a little bit.
Yeah, as you know, Deacon. Yeah, talk slow as hell.
He likes his sound of his own voice.
Hey.
Yeah. So they did this video called "Will There Be a Third Temple" 5 days ago, and they're responding to my video. As you can see right here, they're responding to my video. Right? And it says, "Will we need a temple? Will we need a temple?" Now, this video is an hour and about 20 minutes. I really have to prepare for our holy day tonight, so I'm sure I won't get a chance to cover all of this. Neither do we have to. I'm telling you guys right now, you guys are gonna be like, yo, this is funny. This is funny.
Oh boy.
Yes. See if we can get to him, you know.
Now, in the first couple of minutes of it, it's a fearful thing when the Most High does this to you. Like, imagine me doing a video saying the law is not done away with, and then the first couple of minutes of the video, I prove the law is done away with. You guys aren't going to believe this. It's literally game over. That's why I said I don't have to spend
the law is done away with. What?
Well, no,
he just
an hour and 20 minutes. He literally debunks himself in 2 minutes. I'm not even joking.
MILLSTONE to find the proper understanding of some of the things that were taught to them by the elders that weren't on point. We just used the same methodology.
I hate when he says that, because no, you didn't. It's so intellectually dishonest, Alazar. No, you didn't.
And logic through the Spirit of the Most High. So when we come to conclusions of breakdowns that are defer from what we were taught at Great Millstone, it's actually through using the formula that we were taught at Great Millstone. The same formula they used to realize that certain teachings at One West weren't correct. It's not a big deal. The Most High increases the Spirit more and more as we get closer to the day, of the end. So that's all it is. Just like they did it for the generation that preceded them, we did the same thing. They act like it's the worst thing in the world and it's a travesty and it's, a crime. But truthfully, it's only the same thing that they did. We literally are only following the example given to us by the elders at Great Millstone. I want to make sure that disclaimer is there. They just have a problem.
They're not dispensationalists. They believe in supersessionism, which is replacement theology. Let's just make that clear. Only dispensationalists and maybe a couple other branches that are not prominent in the world of Christendom. Protestants and those that branch off from that or come from that or spring from that do not believe in a third temple. That's just fact.
Being built, all right, in a sense of a physical temple, all right, that ultimately would be built by the commandment, all right, of the Most High. All right, you have that as far as the heathen, all right, and those who are outside of the nation of Israel, they teach that there will be a third temple, and they're currently building it. They have a red herring, all of these things that were.
It's not a red herring; it's a red heifer, brother. He's a red herring. So they got the
Why
red.
me? Why me?
It wasn't even funny.
Yeah, they got red heifers over there,
Corny.
but they're not currently building it. Anybody who's reporting that is a liar. That cannot be substantiated. There is not a third temple being built right now.
That's what the hold up.
Claims
the heathen are boasting in that. That's what I'm saying. They're boasting in that.
Right.
They're talking about they're in preparation of building the third temple. That's all I was saying there. And yeah, it is a heifer. That was a slip of the tongue.
Yeah, it wasn't that
slip
funny.
of the tongue.
It wasn't that funny.
And accusations or allegations, but that it is not being built. They don't even have control of what they believe to be the Temple Mount.
Yeah. There's a lot of ignorance there. There's been that struggle, and you have to understand that's a lot of what the struggle with the Palestinians is that the Muslims, what they're calling the temple, where they're alleging the temple to be built, the Muslims have control of that, so they couldn't begin to build the third temple right now if they wanted to.
Right. So let's continue. Red herring.
Under the Levitical priesthood, all right, in which there was a tabernacle, a temple, and so forth, which we'll get into these things. But also here in Israel, as you can see on the screen, we have one of the heads of the SICARII camp, all right, Deacon Hakah. And as you can see, it says here, the third temple will not be built until Jesus comes back, all right, which the third temple is currently being built in a spiritual sense of the elect, starting with the men of the Lord.
We'll pause that. That's not the third temple, though. There is a spiritual temple that's being built in the form of the nation of Israel. And see, I don't know if you want to get into this, but this is how he's not even familiar with the spiritual temple. Because if he knew the spiritual temple, then he would know the elect do not make up the entirety of the spiritual temple, right?
You don't know the cubits.
He don't know the cubits, right? So but here's the thing about it.
Stop it. Yeah. When you get to when you go to Revelation 21, basically it tells you there's 144 cubits. That temple is being built, and it will be complete when we're entered into the second covenant, and we're all resurrected back to Yahweh Shai. You see, when we enter into that second covenant, we'll be back in our original estate. The Most High will fully dwell in the elect. Okay, it's that simple.
Mm-hmm. And if I can add on to your point, even in the time of the physical tabernacle, right? The whole nation of Israel didn't dwell within the tabernacle. It was the Levites.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Levites were the ones that were over the sacrifices and over the the offerings. It wasn't the whole nation at that point either. That the whole nation had to go to the Levites, right?
Right.
So,
yep.
Anyway, it's like, come on, man.
Like, all right. Y'all want to keep playing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Where he's going wrong here is that The elders have never really taught on these topics. So now he's jumping out there talking about, well, yeah, the elect men are the spiritual temple. No, the elect men are a part of the spiritual temple, right? If the spiritual temple, if the temple is 60 cubits, right? And 20 of those cubits represent the Holy of Holies. The whole temple is holy, but the Holy of Holies is 20 cubits, and that's 1/3 of 60 cubits. Well, that lets you know then.
You said something?
I'm just saying, oh my God, like you see, like the tit for tat technicality aspect.
It's because they've been debating these Edomites. And
Yeah.
so when you debate Edomites and you want to get into debate style, you get very semantical instead of really truly understanding what a person is saying. So this is where you get the tit for tat type of
Right. Well, yeah, the priest Tazama just read Ephesians, where it says that we're that building fitly framed together and complete in Yahweh Shai. Okay. And that starts, all right, with the apostles. Okay. The prophet Yahweh Shai himself is the chief cornerstone. See, there when they read these things, there's a veil over their heart, as we read in 1 Corinthians. When they read these things, there's a blockage. They don't fully have access back to, all right, to that glorious way. They're lacking. You see? Go ahead, brother.
And we've already explained the expanse of really what those cubits going into. It's deeper than the building. Right? It's right, the expanse of the kingdom of heaven and how we're going to sit and rule out of there. Okay.
Yep. We're going to return back to the garden Eastern Eden under the second Adam. You see?
Yep. It makes me think about when Yahweh Shah said, ye are they that continue with me on my temptations, and you're going to sit at my table with me in the kingdom.
Right.
Just simple, you would have the high priest, and the priest would sit down and eat of the sacrifice with the high priest. That wasn't given to everybody. But like in the spiritual discernment part, you got it.
Right. And under the second covenant, all 12 tribes will have access. All 12 tribes will serve as kings and priests on earth under the order of Melchizedek. When we are resurrected, as it says in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, the order of resurrection is Yahweh Shai, the first fruits, and then all that they that are Yahweh Shai that is coming. So when we read Revelation, the 7th chapter, you have the 12,000 out of each tribe. That's the priesthood after the order of Melchizedek. It starts there. At the head of that is the 12 disciples. Revelation, the 21st chapter, goes into the order of that spiritual temple. It says the 12, it has the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. It's going to be 12,000 out of each tribe, the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And as you keep reading, there's 144 cubits. Okay? That makes up the spiritual temple, all right, that the Most High is going to dwell in, and we rule and govern on earth out of the garden Eastern Eden under the second Adam. In new bodies, that's the priesthood we're going to rule under in the kingdom of heaven. Hebrews, the 7th chapter, goes into this. Hebrews, the 9th chapter. And this is why these individuals say that the book of Hebrews is not the word of God.
Yep. It brings it all together, and it confounds their doctrine.
Right.
This is a doctrine, and you didn't get it from how the apostles started to disseminate and break down the scriptures. You got it from your own belly. All right, because things have to be spiritually discerned.
Yeah, spiritually discerned, which is where they lack. As you keep listening, go ahead.
The Holy of Holies is also called the Debar. What does the Debar mean? The word or the voice. So those elect men, those prophets who are the voice of the Lord, the voice that talked, that walked in the garden in Genesis, the voice when the Most High told the prophet Jeremiah, I will make you my voice, right? The voice of the elect men are the 1/3, are the Holy of Holies. The nation of Israel is holy as a people. We're separate from all of the people, but the Holy of the Holy, which are the elect men, the men who are in the spirit, the prophets, etc., that's the Holy of Holies. So no, you're not even correct here, right?
What? Wait, stop it. I don't understand the argument, but we just told you the order of the priest starts with the apostle.
I guess he was trying to say that you were saying only the elect or the elect or the
temple
or the temple of the Heavenly Father.
Right.
Well, once we get into the kingdom, the 2/3 will no longer be there. And each Israelite that is born in their order because the scriptures talks about every man. All right, let's get that. Can we get that?
Yep.
I'll bring it up on the screen.
Okay.
Damn, I wish we didn't have to do all of this. Damn. But it's all good. It's all good.
People who really want it, they're gonna get it.
Right. That's right. Let's get 1 Corinthians 15.
Done.
Yeah, because I was like, is he trying to make the point that you're saying that the elect are going to be the temple when?
Well, that's the governing body.
Yeah, and everything. You got the large multitude and everything that's going to come out.
Right.
Out of that.
You're going to have greatest and you're going to have least. All right.
It's like
that all is going to make up the elect. Go ahead.
No, what you want me to read it or?
Yeah, start at 20. 1 Corinthians 15 and 20.
Okay, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 20, and it reads, "But now is Hamashiach risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead."
Adam, Yahweh Shai, go ahead.
"For as in Adam all die, even so in Hamashiach shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order."
Now, as you see this, it's the order of resurrection. Every man is going to be resurrected in his own order. Go ahead.
Hamashiach the first fruits.
Now, who's the first fruits pursuing the Revelation 14? The 144, the elect. Go ahead.
Afterward, they that are Hamashiach's at his coming.
That's the elect. All right. But of course, there's an order to the elect. All right. And all 12 tribes, okay, pursuing the Revelation, the 7th chapter. All right. And their order, that's the first fruits, the 12,000 out of each tribe. Let's get real quick. I'm going to get Revelation 21. All right. When you read Revelation 21, all right, clearly, as a matter of, to bring it all home real quick, verse 22, Revelation 21 and 22, "And I saw no temple therein. The Lord God Almighty and the Lamb, who's going to establish a government, a kingdom of priests, all right, and kings and priests. The Almighty God and the Lamb are the temple of it." Okay. And of course, again, we're going to have buildings, but it's basically saying that we're going back to that original order where we didn't need a physical temple. The Garden of Eden itself was a temple. Now, Revelation 21 and 4, I start at 3. "And I heard a great voice of heaven, out of heaven, saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men." This is New Jerusalem coming down from heaven. We've entered into the marriage, entered into that second covenant, given the new bodies, resurrected back to our original estate. Then we come down. "And I heard a voice, great voice out of heaven, saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people." Just like he dwelt amongst that tabernacle, the purpose of the tabernacle Moses built was what? That he can dwell among the children of Israel. The purpose of the temple Solomon built was that he dwell among the children of Israel. Under the new covenant, he's going to dwell in his people fully, to where we will be immortal, not subject to sin.
Right.
See, the Levites were subject to sin. The priesthood after the order of Melchizedek, we won't have that problem anymore. And we won't have to be born as a Levite to serve as priest or high priest. We will be sons of the Most High. We will be born directly of the Most High. So the tabernacle of God is going to be with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their power. So as you read, let's go down to verse 10. "And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me the great city, holy Jerusalem, descending out of God from heaven." Okay.
Now, SICARII, Alazar, he mentions the garden, but I don't know, what the confusion is. I guess, it's like you're fishing to be right about something, but go ahead.
Oh, it's just, these are arguments that have always been, and we're not even mad.
I heard y'all was talking. No, they didn't talk about it to you.
Right. How you know the apostles
You're not close to the apostles, man.
Yep. If I could just make a quick point, going back to 1 Corinthians 15, when it talks about every man in his own order, when you get that word order in the Greek, it's tagma, which you get the word band, troop, or class, or a thing placed in order. And that immediately made me think about whenever King David established like the choir and things of that nature, and the priest set up courses. You know what I'm saying? And when you get that word courses in the Hebrew, it's the same word for class. Classes of priests.
Yep. Every man is going to be resurrected in his own order. That is the elect. Okay, the 144,000 in a large multitude is the elect. Every Israelite born from that point on will be born into the new covenant. Perfect. Each Israelite man will be a priest, but of course, there will be order. But the order is after the order of Melchizedek,
right?
The king of righteousness. When he came onto the earth, all right, Paul in the book of Hebrews makes it a point to mention there's no record of his father or mother. He's the son of the Most High. Under to be a priest at the end of that first covenant, you had to be born of a specific lineage. To be a high priest, you had to be born of a specific lineage dealing with Aaron. You see? And only the Levites had access dealing in that tabernacle and temple.
Yeah, they were the mediation point.
Right.
All right. But then we got a better mediator. All right. With a better sacrifice. Okay.
Yep.
Real quick, just to see. Hebrews 12 and 24. That's why y'all want to nullify this book. Like Esau wants to do it. Okay. Y'all done read Esau's criticism and it got to your head. Hebrews 12 and 24. And to Yahushua, the mediator of the new covenant, and to the blood of sprinkling that speaketh better things than that of Abel. All right, and even better sacrifice and an opportunity to come back. Okay.
Yeah, because Abel's sacrifice, that blood cried for vengeance. Yahushua's blood gives us mercy. It brings us back to the Father, Go ahead.
That word mediator is a Strong's G 3316. Let's see if I did it right.
Strong's G 3316. Mesites.
It says one who intervenes between two, either in order to make or restore peace and friendship, or form a compact or covenant. It says, or for ratifying a covenant. That's what the Levitical priesthood represented before Yahushua. Now that was upgraded. All right.
Yep.
And this is why Yahushua is likened unto that high priesthood and unto the Ark of the Covenant.
Right, man. Because whenever, what was the main point? Not the main point, but the Ark of the Covenant where the glory of the Lord will come down and commune with the high priest between the two cherubim. Yep. So if you think about it, for example, like on the Mount of Transfiguration, when they were led up to that mountain, and Yahushua was transfigured before Peter, James, and John, you had Moses and Elijah, and you had Yahushua in the middle, and that's when the Most High was like, "Man, no, this is my son. You listen to him. Listen what he got to tell you."
Yeah. And it's just like you said, Tazama, before we turned the camera on, when Yahushua died, he was buried, right? He was put down in the cave or whatever. What was standing outside of the cave?
Cherubims.
Those cherubims.
Cherubims, right?
Yep.
Just like the ark, right?
Right.
When
just like the entrance into the garden, into the midst of the Garden of Eden. Yahushua represents all of that. He came in and he accomplished all of those things and fulfilled those things. Yep. All right. This, if you don't mind, one more precept. Jeremiah 3 and 14.
Yep. Oh boy.
This is the ark. The ark got beamed up. Well, you're right. The ark did get beamed up. It was
Yahushua is the ark that got beamed up, but this physical.
He did. Ark. The ark did get beamed up. It was Yahushua.
Right.
If you could pull this one up in an NLT.
Jeremiah 3 and
14.
14. Okay.
Right.
All right. This is Jeremiah 3 and 14. In the NLT, it says, "Return home, ye wayward children, says, all right, the Lord, for I am your master. I will bring you back to the land of Israel, one from this town and two from that family, from wherever you're scattered.
Mm-hmm.
And I will give you shepherds after my own heart who will guide you with understanding, with knowledge and understanding.
Yep, the Spirit is going to be dealing with them. All right, go ahead.
And when your land is once more filled with people, says the Lord, you will no longer wish for the good old days when you possessed the ark of Yahweh's covenant. You will not miss those days or even remember them. There will be no need to rebuild the ark."
Man.
So real quick, if you're saying we're going to have a physical temple, then in that temple is there going to be an ark? Now, your argument is that the ark got beamed up using Revelation 11, I believe, and we'll get that. But again, we know that Moses, everything that he built, including the ark, was based upon something that he saw in the heavens. You see?
Mm-hmm.
There's a high priest in the heavens.
Yep.
You wanted to say something, Mariella?
No, I mean, but it says the record in Maccabees is that the ark was hidden away.
Mm-hmm. Where is that at? Second Maccabees 3?
Yeah, something like that.
Hold on.
Yeah, since
Second Maccabees. Is it chapter 3?
Second Maccabees chapter. I think it might be Second Maccabees chapter 2. Yeah, I think it's Second Maccabees chapter 2.
Okay, fine. Pull that up, Shah.
All right. This is Second Maccabees chapter 2. You want me to get to the part where Jeremiah hit it?
Yeah, just right straight to the point.
Okay. This is Second Maccabees chapter 2, verse 5. It says, "And when Jeremy came thither, he found an hollow cave wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door. And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it. Which when Jeremy perceived, he blamed them, saying, As for the place, it shall be unknown until the time that the Most High gather his people again together and receive them unto mercy."
Boom. So those things haven't been revealed yet. And so, and it's going to be revealed. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But as we're reading here in Jeremiah 3 and 14, 15, 16, it's telling us that we're not going to even look towards that way. Why? Because a better way is going to be established in the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, maybe the Lord will show us the Ark of the Covenant. We'll be able to see it. All right. But we won't need it.
Right. That's
to have a connection with our power.
Yeah. It's like
that was needed. That physical tabernacle under that first covenant was needed to have a connection with our power, to have mediation. The Levites, when it was time to go to war, who did the kings go to? They went to the Levites. Should we do this? Should we do that? They went to the Levites for guidance on what and what not to do. The Levites were to teach the Israelites the difference between clean and unclean. In the kingdom, the priesthood after the order of Melchizedek will teach the heathen those things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But here, we will not need the Ark of the Covenant anymore. There is no record of the Ark of the Covenant being beamed up into the heavens.
Right.
All right. The scriptures say, flesh and blood can't enter into the kingdom. We don't take these bodies don't go into the spiritual world. Nothing from this world goes into the spiritual world. Our spirits are going to go into the spiritual realm, into the chariot.
Mm-hmm.
But if Moses built the ark and the tabernacle based upon what he saw in the heavens, why will we need the one from earth that he built?
Yeah.
Right.
It's just chilling up in the heavens. Okay.
Right. Now their reasoning on that
is Revelation. Yeah, I know.
Revelation 11. Now
understanding, man. Come on now.
Revelation 11. Let's see here. I'll get it in the King James, but let's read it here too. Then in heaven, the temple of God was opened, and the ark of his covenant can be seen inside the temple. Lightning flashed, thunder crashed, and roared, and there was an earthquake and terrible hailstorm.
Did
All
we
right.
not tell you that when he looked up into the heavens, Moses, he saw what? The patterns of things.
Right.
That don't mean that the ark went up into the heaven, the physical ark that was down when Moses went up into the heavens.
Nah, you tripping, cuz.
He's no, what John the Revelator got to see was that what the image that even Moses had saw. Come on now.
Yep.
Right. And there's a high priest in the heavens, real quick. Let's get Revelation 8. You know, Revelation, the 8th chapter. Start at 3.
All right. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 8, verse 3. It says, and another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer.
Having a golden censer. Now, who under that first covenant, who dealt with the golden censer?
The Levites.
The Levites, the sons of Aaron in particular. Okay? Or the Levites. Go ahead.
It says, having a golden censer.
No, it's the sons of Aaron, I believe. I'll get it. Go ahead.
It says, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne.
See? So in the heavens, okay, there's a high priest, an angel, a priest, all right, standing at the altar, okay, doing what the Levitical priesthood, all right, did on earth, but he's doing it in the heavens. He's offering up what? The prayers of the saints. Keep going.
Now you can see kind of an example of this.
It's in Leviticus.
When the Lord sent the lying spirit to Ahab.
Yeah.
It's showing you that there's order and rank up there, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeremiah saw something too. Or Isaiah, I believe, it was with the coal on his tongue.
Kind.
Yep.
When he looked up into the heavens, he saw, you know, the angels and the, you know. But go ahead.
It says, in the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before the Most High out of the angel's hand.
Right. So there's a priest in the heavens doing the same thing in an even greater sense that the Levites did. Okay. Now, when you get, let's get, I believe it's Leviticus. Okay. Let's get Exodus 30. Because there's a point. Where's the golden censer? How you spell? Because in the New Testament, in the Old Testament, it's spelled different.
I think it's CENSER.
No, that ain't. Let me see. That ain't okay. Yeah. Boom. Let's see. Leviticus 16, maybe. Hold up. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And you said, yeah,
and Aaron, Leviticus 16 and 11, and Aaron shall bring the bullock of sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bullock. See, Yahushua only had to do this once. The high priest under that order had to do that annually, and kill the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and he shall take a censer for. All right, and I believe this is dealing with the Day of Atonement. There you go, the Law of Atonement. See, which Yahushua is our atonement. But under that first covenant, the Day of Atonement, as we see in Revelation 8, there's something even greater happening in the heavens, but the Levitical priesthood mimicked it. Okay?
Man.
So, verse 12, and he shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire off the altar before the Lord, and his hands full of sweet incense beaten small, and bring it within the vow. And he shall put the incense upon the fire before the Lord, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony, that he die not. Okay. And ultimately, as you keep reading, that was for, you know, eventually he offered a sacrifice for himself. Then he offered a sacrifice for the nation. Okay. So we can, you know, be back at peace with our power, the Day of Atonement. What we're reading here in Revelation, the 8th chapter, in the heavens, before the Most High, this stuff is happening in the heavens.
Yeah, ain't that dope?
In an even greater fashion.
Right.
The prayers of the saints are being brought directly up, and that's likened unto incense.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yep.
And there's an altar. You know, what's
Yep.
under the altar in the heavens? Revelation 6. The souls of the elect go under when they go into the spiritual realm. It talks about how they were under the altar, because those are the ones chosen to be a sacrifice for the service of the Most High. Okay.
Yep.
When
Because
they come to the planet Earth, they're likened unto a burnt offering, pursuing the wisdom of Solomon in the 3rd chapter. Go ahead.
I was just going to add on to your point to say that because, you know, even in the tabernacle and the temple, you had the altar, then you had the veil, then you had the Holy of Holies where the Ark of the Covenant was, and that they would put that incense on the altar, and it would pretty much go through and make a incense cloud over the Ark of the Covenant. See, and then what was within the Ark? Yeah, Aaron's rod, which represented what? That the priesthood, the tables of the covenant, the law. I'll put my law within it. And then thirdly was the manna. I'm the bread from heaven.
Right. Well, let's read this real quick. I'm gonna read some of it. And as you can see, the old and the new. Now, what even the people who wrote the blue letter, who put this together, what did they go to? Exodus 25. What happened in Exodus 25? Moses was told to build the tabernacle, which was a moving tabernacle. And we were able to move through the wilderness and have commune with our power through the priests that dealt in that tabernacle. Moses, Aaron, the other leadership. Okay. Hebrews 9:1. Verily, the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service and a worldly sanctuary. See, they're telling you in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have that. We're going to need that worldly sanctuary again. You see, when the sanctuary is going to be Eden, the Garden of Eden is the sanctuary.
Yeah.
Garden of Jerusalem.
Yep. Kingdom of heaven, man. Come on now.
But there was a tabernacle made, the first wherein was the candlestick, the table, the showbread. All right, which you couldn't have sex. The high priest didn't have sex on the Sabbath and were able to go eat of that bread. Okay. And y'all are teaching you can have sex on the Sabbath. So the high priest could have sex with his woman and then go into the Holy of Holies and eat of that bread, because every Sabbath they changed out that bread. You couldn't touch of that holy bread if you had just dealt with your woman. David, when he went to the temple, all right, and he was hungry, and he asked the high priest to give him some bread. He said, look, you can only have this bread if you and your men ain't been with women. And David was like, man, I know the law. Why would I come to even near the temple? When my men go to war with me, they don't deal with their women. So you couldn't eat of that bread and have sex on the Sabbath at the same time. You wouldn't even be able to go to the Holy of Holies. You'd just drop dead. So they would change that bread out. The sacrifices they would eat the bread and the meat and commune with the Most High through what? The mercy seat and everything else, which is Yahweh Shai. It all points to Yahweh Shai.
Everything. All roads lead to Yahweh Shai.
There you go. So it had the table, the showbread, which is called the sanctuary. After the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all, which had the golden censer, the Ark of the Covenant overlaid around about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna and Aaron's rod that budded and the tables of the covenant. Now we're going to have a new covenant, and it said it's not going to be based. Real quick, Revelation 8:9. Verse 8, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, said the Lord, when he will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers when I took them by the hand and led them out of the land of Egypt. So it's not going to be according to that covenant. And we're reading what was needed under that covenant. Over the Ark of the Covenant was the cherubims of glory shadowing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly. Okay. The cherubims. What did Solomon put in the temple? Those cherubims. It was made no garden. Okay. Now, when these things thus were ordained, the priest always went into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of the Most High. What was Adam to do in the garden? The service of the Most High. We're going back to that way. All right, but perfected.
Yep. Second chapter.
Go ahead.
No, I just said Isaiah the 2nd chapter. You know, they're gonna have to come up to Jerusalem and learn the law.
Right.
Service.
But into the second went the high priest alone once every year without blood, which he offered for himself and for the heirs of the people. Okay. You want me to should I keep reading? Okay. The Holy Spirit, this signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing.
Boom.
We didn't have full access.
Yep. That's why Yahweh Shah said, I am the way and the truth, the light. No man, you know what I'm saying? No man can get to the Most High but through me. He's the way. He's that way had to be made holy. That's why when Yahweh Shah gave up the ghost, what happened? The veil in the temple split.
I literally was about to make that same point.
The veil in the temple split. Well, you know that access has been made in a new way. That old way is no longer necessary. There's a new and upgraded way.
Yep. And that's why when you read about that in Revelation, the 8th chapter or the 11th chapter, what happened? There's basically, you know, he's seeing that ceremony, and there's an earthquake, right? Same time when Yahweh shot the earthquake, man. But then the veil of the temple split, signifying what? A new ministry was coming in through the sacrifice that Yahweh Shah made, that atonement that was made.
And if y'all want that account, where is that in Matthew? What, 27?
27, something like that. Let me see.
About the veil written.
Yeah, 27 and 50.
All right. The Matthew 27 and 50. Yahweh Shai, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil, all right, which separated, you know, the Holy of Holies, you know, the holy place from the rest of the temple, was the veil of the temple was rent in twain from top to bottom, and the earth did quake and the rocks rent.
All right, so he yielded up the ghost, the veil of the temple rent, and that was a signification that things were opened up. Okay. Now through Yahweh Shah, there's a mediation that can happen to the Heavenly Father. Because the covenant was broken underneath the Levitical covenant.
Yep. And now, you know, once he was resurrected, you know, he went back to the right-hand side of the Father. Now he acts as high priest, sending gifts unto men, as it talks about in the book of Ephesians, the 4th chapter. You know, now we don't have to go to a physical temple. We don't have to go to one of the sons of Aaron directly to receive mediation. We go directly to Yahweh Shai, which is a better way. Okay. Now we don't have to get that. You know, he led captivity captive. He sent gifts unto men. When he went back to the right-hand side, the first miracle that he sent the Holy Spirit down upon the men of the Lord, the believers. You see, it's not just Levi anymore. It's the Israelites scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, the elect, where he's able to send down the Holy Spirit, open up visions, give them a testimony to go out and teach the children of Israel the ways of righteousness. He works miracles through them. See? Now, did y'all want to finish? This is Hebrews 9 and real quick, 8 in the NLT. By these regulations, the Holy Spirit revealed that the entrance of the most holy place was not freely open as long as the tabernacle and the system it represented were still in use. So you're telling us when we get into the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have to go back to the old way, because you're saying the sons of Levi are going to be purified. Levi is going to be fulfilled in all 12 tribes. We're going to be joined back to our Father.
I got a quick precept.
The understanding of the priests, the Levites, as it talks about in Malachi. We'll get that if possible at some point. Did you want to go back to that video, or y'all want to make some other points?
One more point. Can you get Acts 1 and 5?
Mm-hmm. Give me 1 second here.
Ooh, I already know you about to.
Taj, you
man.
can.
I get it. I got you. It's the book of Acts.
I got it. Salakia. Acts 1 and 5. For John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Spirit not many days hence.
Mm-hmm. Let's keep reading.
And again, John never said it, and John never boasted in the Levitical priesthood. He left the temple.
That's right.
Y'all was in there selling, making money. John didn't deal with that foolish. He went to the wilderness and preached Yahweh Shai, man.
That's right.
He didn't boast in no Levitical priesthood. He said there's a better high priest coming.
That's right.
Okay. Acts 1 and 6. When they were therefore come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power, but ye shall receive power after the Holy Spirit has come upon you.
See? Those gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
And ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth.
Right. So they were going to get power to go and teach.
Mm-hmm.
Read the gospel of everything that they seen, all the breakdowns that they learned, and the truth. Then let's go to verse 9.
Mm-hmm. Acts 1 and 9. And when he had spoken these things, they beheld, and he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
So he was beamed up.
Mm-hmm.
Keep reading.
And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, he went up. Behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel.
There it goes.
Those cherubims.
Two cherubims again. Likening Yahweh Shai to what?
The Ark of the Covenant.
That ark that got beamed up. It was Yahweh Shai.
That's it.
Not no physical ark.
Ooh,
Yeah, something that Moses made with his hands on earth has to be beamed up to the heavens, when what he made was based upon what was already. Come on, y'all tripping, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if I may just add on to that point, even when you look at the veil, just adding on to that point, what was specifically on the veil? 2 cherubims. Cherubims was on the veil. So when the veil was rent, remember, because going back to the garden, 2 cherubim was defending the garden, whereas you couldn't. The access was closed up.
That's right. Kicked out.
On that veil, it was purple, red, and blue. Representing that was Yahweh Shai's flesh. They had sacrifice, and then after that, that access was made. So that now we can all be kings and priests.
Right. Which is far better.
Right.
Like Hebrews, the 7th chapter goes into, but we'll get that in just a minute. Y'all want to say something else or go back to them? Because I'm pretty sure we're not going to really get through too much of their video. We already know their arguments. Another point we're going to tackle too at some point is they say if you're not offering up a sacrifice, because, we said there's going to be ceremonial sacrifices. We're going to keep the new Passover. The holy days are going to be instituted just like Christmas is instituted here. Well, worldwide, the holy days of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua are going to be forced. So we're going to have the ceremonial sacrifices. They said that basically you can't, if you're offering up a sacrifice outside of the temple, then you're sinning. So how do we cut that? What's a quick, easy way to cut that?
Man, there's one where if you didn't make it to Passover, that's one.
Right, that's one. But even before that, who offered up a sacrifice that we know about in the scriptures?
Oh, Noah.
That did Noah. What did Noah do in Genesis, the 8th chapter?
He built an altar to the Lord.
Genesis 8. And Noah also, the understanding of what was clean and unclean, just like the Levites brought that understanding forth to the children of Israel. Before there was a Levite, that understanding was already there. That was passed down through the generations, starting with Adam. Noah is a descendant of Adam. Right?
Right.
And if you see here, Genesis 7:2, he was told to what? Of every clean beast thou shalt make thee by sevens, male and female beasts. All right. And as you keep going, then eventually it says unclean. Now, when you go to Genesis, the 8th chapter, and see to a carnal man, what we're saying is complete foolishness.
Right.
Because again, like Ariala said, they want to bring a apartment mentality to everlasting life in paradise. That's why they say we're not going to have immortal life, eternal life, because the earth will be overpopulated. That's a very low level thought mindset. So these are the guys we're dealing with. They come across as very deep and, understanding, but they have a very, very small understanding. All right. And this is nothing new when it comes to spiritual matters. Now, Genesis 8:20. Noah builded an altar to the Lord and took every clean beast and every clean fowl and offered burnt offerings on the altar. Now, did he have a physical temple? Did he have to have? He just got off the boat, which is likened to an ark, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here it is. He's offering up a sacrifice. Abram, did not Abraham?
Abram.
And the Lord smelled a sweet savor. Under those sacrifices, the Levites, the sons of Aaron and them offered up. Guess what? It was a sweet savor unto the Lord, but that was already happening without a tabernacle, without a physical temple.
Right.
See? The Moses offered what? He built an altar wherever he was and offered up a sacrifice that was acceptable to the Most High. Abram.
Yep. Jacob.
I was say Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Yep.
Abram built an altar to the Lord.
Yep.
Okay. These sacrifices were offered on these altars without a temple, because these men were likened, all right, unto temples wherever they were.
Yep.
So in the kingdom of heaven, we're not going to need a physical temple to offer up sacrifices. The elect men of the Lord can set up altars wherever the hell we at.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Point blank period, without a physical temple. But you're fixated on the Levitical priesthood because you're Levi, and ultimately you're those chief priests coming back who really undermine the authority of Yahushua. That's why you would have the nerve to say there's going to be the priesthood of Melchizedek, then the priesthood of Aaron as well. And I believe in one of y'all lessons, y'all said Yahushua. Now, if I'm wrong, forgive me, but Yahushua is going to have to go to that temple or something like that.
I kind of do remember that as well, too.
Y'all dudes are off, man. And the people who are following you, they don't really have the spirit. A lot of these dudes are just there for the gimmicks and the juice and the chicken, and the mixtape. They don't really understand what the hell is going on. So you sound appeasing unto them. Hebrew, real quick. You got something, Ariella?
Nope.
Hebrews 7, real quick. And 11. I'll read it in the NLT. Okay. So if the priesthood of Levi, which the law was based, could have achieved the perfection God intended, why did God need to establish a different priesthood with the priest in the order of Melchizedek instead of the order of Levi and Aaron?
Boom.
Ouch.
See, because in Hebrews, man, we don't know who wrote that, man.
Who wrote that book, though?
Yeah, I mean, the point blank. Let's real quick. Also, and then we'll go back to their video. SICARII 45. In 25.
Okay.
According to the covenant made with David, the son of Jesse of the tribe of Judah, that the inheritance of kings should be to his posterity alone. So the inheritance of Aaron should be also be unto his seed, which is that was Yahweh Shai. He's the high priest. All right. The Aaron means light. What did Yahweh Shai say? I'm going to give you the day star. He's going to put the law, statutes, commandments in our inward part. Aaron will be a part of the 144,000. He may be the first, of the tribe of Levi. He's going to have a very high position, but it's going to be after the order of Melchizedek. Point blank period, man.
God.
Hebrews 7:16, speaking of Yahweh Shai, who was made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. When it says a carnal commandment, it's talking about the fact that the Levites, Yahweh Shai became a priest, not meeting the physical requirements of belonging to the tribe of Levi, but after the power of a life that cannot be destroyed. That's the order we want to come up under, because we don't want to ever be destroyed. You read the book of Malachi, they were getting the sons of Levi, they were getting cursed out. They went off.
Yep. That's why they had to be benched.
Yep. Get a little bit more of their video, and then we'll probably do another part. We're already at 1 hour and 45 minutes, and we only played just a little bit of their video. But really, we already know their points at the end of the day,
Yep.
And if you want to, believe that, in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to be still subject to the, the order of Aaron, then you could believe that. Maybe, there's this special temple in the kingdom where Aaron, and his sons, will have this special priesthood. I don't know. But according to what we're reading, the priesthood of Melchizedek is all we need.
Right.
Y'all want to say something?
No, they're adding and taking away. That's why they want to take away the book of Hebrews. Okay. I'm gonna start playing this.
All right, I'll be right back, bro.
All right.
Talk y'all shit.
Now, a spiritual temple is being built. Yes, definitely. No doubt about it. But that's not a spiritual third temple. What is the spiritual third temple? Right? The third temple is in reference to the previous two that were destroyed. That's physical. Right? Just want to get it clear. Go ahead.
No, and what I don't like is how when we do these response videos, we go through and we debunk you point for point. I want everybody to hear this. During his rebuke or response to my video, guess what, everybody? He doesn't address one thing. He don't even play my video. He just shows it right here. Then he goes and does a lesson. Doesn't respond to any biblical prophecy about an actual third temple that I presented.
Yeah.
We are slicing up. we could build right here just off the first minute and 52 seconds on a whole lesson. But go ahead.
Literally. And here's what I hate, right? What I absolutely hate is just this whole idea, and it's so Christian, because like you said, only a certain Christians understand that there's going to be a physical third temple. Here's what I just can't stand. We're supposed to have a kingdom, right, Deacon? What kingdom do you know of that's ever existed that did not have a capital building, a royal palace?
And it's just like we explained, man.
Right.
We're gonna have dominion. You're gonna have buildings. You're gonna have everything like that. But the service of the Lord is going to be working directly inside of the Israelites, man.
Right.
All right. And I'm sure we'll even have commissions and everything like that. There's going to be a way that the righteousness of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to be disseminated out in the earth. Okay.
When we read it earlier, the scriptures say that ye are my building. Making it seem as if in the kingdom we're not going to have no kind of bit, like we're not going to have a building or a palace or whatever the case may palaces for us. Like Jake make it seem like there ain't gonna be no buildings or nothing.
No, you won't need you won't need to go into that building in order to have communion with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, like in Solomon's temple.
That's it. Point blank period.
Like the tabernacle. No. That's the point that Elder Yashawamba is making. And this is why we went through all of these scriptures and points, giving you the spiritual understanding of these things, of the temple of it in and of itself, and how it relates to us today and Yahweh Shai and his importance.
The What did he say? What kingdom didn't have a what?
A building, a place, a capital.
But the capital is Jerusalem, the
That's what
garden eastward in Eden.
That's what we were saying.
Homie. God damn.
Can I bring this out real quick? I got a precept on what you just
The
said.
Lord trying to give us a city. Jake want Walmart. Not comparing the temple to Walmart, but that's the mindset. It's a very like, bro, the Lord's trying to give you a city. And you work with that. That's the temple. That's the sanctuary. That's the holy place. Starting at Jerusalem, man. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 33, verse 20. It says, "Look upon Zion, the city of our solemnities." And solemnities is like a solemn feast, right? "Thine eyes shall see Jerusalem, a quiet habitation, a tabernacle that shall not be taken down. Not one of the stakes thereof shall ever be removed, neither shall any of the cords thereof be broken."
Yeah, we're gonna have a building, man. When you read that in Revelation 22, or is it in 21? Yeah, we're gonna have a Jerusalem, and it's gonna be again the opening of where the holy people are. That rulership that Adam was supposed to have is gonna go back out underneath the order of Melchizedek.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because that word stake in the Hebrew is a stake is something that, you know, when you put a stake in the tent, it keeps the tent held down.
Mm-hmm.
So that word stake in the Hebrew is pronounced yatad. All right. And when you get the definition, it says a peg or a pin. All right. And then it says of Zion under figure of a tent. You see? So Zion or Jerusalem is the tabernacle.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point that's what we're saying, man. That's what the scriptures are saying. Going all the way back to the garden eastward in Eden. That's the tabernacle, man.
Right.
That.
What's that scripture where it said I will take them for priests and Levites?
That's
Isaiah, maybe.
Isaiah 61. I think it's like Isaiah 61 or something like that. Let me see real fast. Isaiah
66.
66. Okay, that's what it is.
Yep. Isaiah 66 and 21. I will also take them. All right. Hold up. I will also take them for priest and for Levite, saith the Lord. So they'll see Levi there and say, see? But the word Levi just means joined unto me. All 12 tribes are going to be priests. We're going to be likened unto Levi. That duty is then going to be given, starting with Yahweh Shai, the high priest, in the 144,000 and on down the line, man. Okay. I will also take of them for priest and Levi, saith the Lord, for a new heaven and a new earth, which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Lord, and so shall your seed remain, so shall your seed and your name remain. Okay. And there's a scripture where the Lord says he don't dwell with temples made with hands. Okay. A nation of kings and priests, but the order is going to be different. We just went to Hebrews to go into that. Go ahead.
Oh, I got another one real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Psalm 46, verse 4 and 5. It says, there is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of the Most High, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High, the dwelling places. It says the Most High is in the midst of her, shall not be moved. The Most High shall help her in that right early. Let you know, when the Lord helped, if it says that she shall not be moved, the Most High shall help her in that right only. Who's the Most High going to help? Jerusalem, us as a people. We're a people before a place. We make up the tabernacle, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Jerusalem means teaching of peace. So that teaching of peace was to spread throughout the earth, starting at the garden eastward in Eden. It's likened unto water that flows, man. You know, I mean, you want to listen to some more of them?
Not really.
Another 2 minutes maybe, and we can close it out. I mean, there's a lot of points to be made, you know, but as far as that priest to Levites point, if you go to my page, I did a video going into that. understanding, because there's points where you read in the Old Testament,
Mhm.
you know, they're basically liking the nation of Israel to Levites, because we're all going to be joined unto the Lord. Go ahead.
A White House, a Senate building. Every kingdom ever has that. The temple has always been our version of a capitol building, of a national monument. That's why it's in Mount Zion. Zion in the Hebrew means what? Monument, right? Cool. Or memorial. So in understanding that, that's our capital. How are we gonna have this kingdom and the kingdom ain't gonna have a capitol building?
Guys, it's hard,
So remember,
Carnal.
everybody, their position is, well, I'm gonna just let them say
It's all carnal.
It's all carnal.
it. Their position is there will not be a third temple. Our position is there will be a third temple. Well, watch this, everybody. Remember, I said he's going to debunk his whole self within a couple minutes.
Who have the testimony, and we'll get into those things and show you how these things are going to play out pursuant to prophecy. And as you see here, there's a question: will there be a third temple in the kingdom of heaven? Now, we went back and forth with these brothers on this topic, you know, because there was a point, you know, they were teaching Levitical priesthood, you know, will be established in the kingdom of heaven. You know.
And so, and this is where you see the difference between the teaching, where we're going to come at you from, is from the spiritual point, so you
Right.
can understand it and relate to your and have and make sure you relate it to Yahushua and his importance and to get the completeness of the word. Okay, that's really where the separation is.
That's it. It's just
And we're not saying the same thing,
right.
and that's okay.
All right.
Yeah, that are we gonna have buildings and everything like that? Absolutely. But what are you
Yeah.
what are you meant to understand?
right?
What is the point of it being? What is the understanding?
There will be a third temple. All right, and that's their teaching, you know.
So Salakia, and this the thing, this hatred that people have for the Levitical priesthood, I'm gonna call it what it is. It's a hatred, right? I want
What?
We don't hate the Levitical priesthood. That was a beautiful thing. And the Levites were very
What?
important.
Come on, bro.
The tribe of Levi too, along with Judah and Benjamin, were very important in the continuing of the traditions, so that when Yahushua came on the scene, that there was because he had to gather the tents of Judah had to be gathered first.
Right.
Well, yeah, there's the Maccabean, all of that history. We love the tribe of Levi. Okay, Levi women, we love Levites. Why would we hate Levi? But the Levitical priesthood, we don't hate the Levitical priesthood. We're just telling you that it all pointed to something greater.
Right. That's all it is.
It's not a big deal.
We
But you're carnal.
We transition from that.
Yeah.
The Levites got benched. No, I really say that just to mess with Alazar, because I know it probably makes him upset. But the whole point of what I'm saying is with order of Melchizedek is the way. That process is how you're gonna mediate with with Yahushua and to the Heavenly Father. Okay, not through the order of the Levitical priesthood. Okay,
Because it's crazy, because they said we hate the Levitical priesthood, but those wicked scribes and Pharisees hated Yahushua, because Yahushua came to let them know that there's a greater way.
Yep, the chief priest.
You know, the chief priests and the scribes. You know, and like the elders just mentioned it. You know, like the scribes being established. Like Ezra was really the one. You know, like he had really established the scribes going after the Babylonian captivity. You know, so like a lot of the interpretations of the law came by way of the scribes and the Pharisees. Like, I mean, like even Yahushua told particular times for this person to go to the priest, let the priest see you before you start doing your thing. You know what I mean? But where did the Levites get this origination from? That was handed down to Moses. It came from something was already happening. That's all they were saying.
That's it. Yep. And when you read Yahushua's story, it was the chief priest that gave him a lot of hell. The Pharisees, the ones who didn't want to repent, the chief priest. And ironically, he calls himself the chief priest. And a lot of time when Yahushua brought out parables, it went over their head. The spiritual matters, really, they don't get it. That's the. I mean, when you this whole video that they're doing, they just don't get it. They're not fully bought into the order of Melchizedek. That's not enough for them. The simplicity in Yahweh Shai ain't enough for them.
Right.
You know, they want to go back to the old way where we're going to be bound to a particular temple. We can build altars wherever we at. But we know the law is going to go forth from Jerusalem, man. Which Jerusalem is the garden eastward in Eden. The temple itself, the opening of it pointed east. The garden, the temple all pointed to the Garden of Eden.
That's it.
Mhm.
And we're going to return to that land. That's why it was promised unto Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Now we're joint heirs to what? Be brought back to that land for the purpose of being able to set up the kingdom of heaven. And in this time, we won't have to have these bodies. We don't have to be subject to regulations. It will be in us. We can freely serve the Lord, man.
Man. It's that, man. So like you got it.
Nah, go hit it, bring it out, and we close out on that point. I don't want to really, you know, if we have to go. I mean, is there any other points, Tazama, you think we should address from that video?
I mean, that's mainly it. I mean, because he was about to go in, like, I mean, well, if you could let it play just for like maybe like one more minute, because he's gonna make a point about the Levitical priesthood again.
Yep.
Okay.
I want you to know that your Lord, your King, he didn't have a hatred for that Levitical priesthood. If he did, he wouldn't have waited to start his ministry and his great showing to the nation if the Levite hadn't first baptized him, right?
Hey, pause it. Yep. Hey, what did Yahweh Shai do when he went in the temple?
Overthrowing tables.
He overthrew the table. Of course, he didn't have a hatred for it, but y'all went off. Y'all were tripping in there doing what y'all doing now. SICARII jerseys and this and that. That's what they were doing back then.
Yep.
Making merchandise. And then Yahweh Shai was like, what the hell are you doing? Furthermore, again, the SICARII were not followers of Yahweh Shai. Let's please get that out in the open too. Were the SICARIs direct followers of Yahweh Shai? Did they take to his stance? No, they looked at it as weak.
Right.
They looked at it as non-violent. The SICARII didn't follow. They were going into crowds, poking people. Well, when did Yahweh Shai command us to do that? He didn't. So your whole premise, your whole foundation is off. But we'll see.
Yep.
You know, a lot of those zealots have left off from that and followed Yahweh Shai. So hey, man, hey, we'll see. But hey, y'all tripping. And the Levites, I mean, the SICARII lost. Y'all start fighting. Y'all was in the temple arguing over sandwiches. Guys, y'all lost. Y'all really are the reason y'all messed up. Y'all were forcing people to fight in your wars. Yahweh Shai didn't tell you to do that. So how in the hell are you gonna come and establish the SICARII who didn't wasn't obedient to Yahweh Shai in the first place?
It's pride,
nigga.
And the reason as to why Yahweh Shai went to a Levite, John the Baptist, to be baptized was all due to prophecy.
That's it.
Prophecy had to be fulfilled.
That's right. And it will make sense that one from the line of Aaron will baptize Yahweh Shai. But what did he say? He must increase and I must decrease.
That's a cut.
Man.
Did not John the Baptist say that?
He said one that's greater than him is going to come. One that's greater than him would come.
He said, he that is of the heaven, speaketh of the heaven. He that is of earth, speaketh of earth. The chief priests and Levites that didn't follow Yahweh Shai, they were speaking of the earth.
Just like you.
Ye are from beneath. You dudes are from beneath, and we are from above, man. That's basically the bottom line. We're speaking of something above. You're speaking of something on this earth. Earthly. You don't get it.
Fleshly. Yep.
Y'all through.
Yeah.
And it's those hats. Nah, we ain't gonna get into the hats because they said we got to be put to death behind them hats. That's a Greek custom that y'all introducing into the children of Israel, try to link it to a meat tree. What's wrong with you guys?
Man.
Y'all tripping, man.
God. Kai, you want to play a little bit more?
I mean, Toss said so. So yeah, you know, because we had 2 hours, man. I'm tired of this shit.
Had a hatred for the Levitical priesthood, he wouldn't have looked at Caiaphas when Caiaphas asked him if he was the Messiah and told him, "Thou sayest," and he understood that the Levites had to offer him as that sacrifice, right? So a lot of y'all really do not understand the Bible, and it comes from Christianity.
Bro, how do you put that together? Basically, you lied and said that we hate the Levitical priesthood. And then now it transitions to that like we didn't know that. Like what?
Yeah, well, of course we knew that.
He said something deep.
Yeah, like
Yahweh Shai fulfilled the law fully. He was the sacrifice. He was the high priest. He was the scapegoat. He was everything we needed under that first covenant was fulfilled in him.
Oh boy.
And it comes from a gross misinterpretation of a book that's in the Bible called the Book of Hebrews, in which you can't even tell me who the author is, right? Mind you. But God says explicitly contrariwise to your understandings, redundantly, prophetically. And we were taught in Great Millstone to prioritize prophecy in our understanding, which we do through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. It is evidently clear in the prophecies that the Levitical priesthood is something that the Most High God loves and will read.
Hold up, stop. Who wrote the Book of Chronicles? So if that's the argument, let's go to Google real quick. Oh, damn. Did you want to show that garden, that picture, Ariella?
No, it's okay.
Okay. I just want to make this quick point for all you guys out there. Or you can pull it up, Ariella, where you at, but I got it as well. But I was gonna go to Google. Who wrote the Book of Chronicles? Put it on the comment board, Alazar. Put it on the comment board. Who wrote the Book of Chronicles?
Right.
Hold up. All right, now.
Did it switch into your screen?
Oh, my bad. I didn't even do it yet. I'm tripping like hold on. All right, remove. I mean, just to make this point, because I mean, you know, Jake talking tough. All right, it's tripping again. But the point is, who wrote the Book of Chronicles? Hold up, share screen. Huh? Do y'all know?
I don't know who wrote the Book of Chronicles, man. I thought
we don't know.
Different priests at that time.
Probably, you know, the traditions say, you know, one of the priests, but you don't know.
You don't know.
So should we throw it away?
Right.
And for the fact we have enough manuscripts and post manuscripts to put it together. We okay. See, these guys read all these, like I said, textual criticism, and they latch on to things.
Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
The chronicler, as scholars have long referred to the author of this book, is anonymous. The tradition of the Jews speculates that Ezra could have written 1 and 2 Chronicles, which, like Samuel and Kings, originally formed one work. So who wrote the Book of Chronicles?
They'll say Ezra did. That's what they're gonna say.
Okay, well, it ain't in the scriptures.
Right.
Just wanted to make that point.
God.
But hey, what's written in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, is faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things you don't see.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So it's like, but these are the same guys. I don't give a damn what Mark said.
Well, it's argued about who wrote a lot of things. Okay,
it's just a bunch of arguments, man.
Argued is, you know, well, we don't know if this is Luke's writing because whenever you look at it, it doesn't completely match the way that he wrote in the Gospels and all of this and all of that. Esau been they always gonna bring confusion. It's either you believe in this thing mingle with faith or you don't. At the end of the day, man.
That's right.
That's right, man. Yeah, we shouldn't listen to Mark and Luke because they weren't there, but you weren't there, so why should we listen to you?
Right.
But you know we there's some more you wanted to hear, Taz? Yeah, man. We've been on this thing 2 hours and 9 minutes. You know, if we have to make more points, we will. But y'all got anything else?
Nah, man.
Hey, well, man, hopefully you brothers and sisters were edified, man. We're going back to a very, very, very the ancient way, which goes back to the beginning, man. Before there was a Levite, the high priest was Yahweh Shai, the king of righteousness, man. Abraham ties to him before there was a Levite. That's a greater order we're gonna rule.
Yeah.
Right.
And don't let people take merchandise of you, man.
As kings and priests. So hopefully our edify, man.
Don't
give all praises to the Heavenly Father.
I just want to say this real quick. Don't let people make merchandise of you through this ministry. All right. You see things for spiritual, and then you see what's earthly, and you can delineate the two. And also, we know in part and we prophesy in part. There's certain things that's going to be fully revealed in the Most High's time.
Right.
The particular understandings of a lot of things. But we have to make sure to keep the main thing, which is the confession of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach out in the earth. Okay? That's all I wanted to say.
All right, man. So hopefully I'll edify, man. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.